roll off. Well, I rolled a 1, and you only just beat it on a 2. It's taken a long time to think about what's normally an easy decision.
I'll do the outro.
Ooh. Have you got an idea for one?
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay, that's good. So I am the attacker.
Yep.
I do the intro. So welcome everyone to the tip of the spear. Today, things will be heating up. Although, as I record this, it's out on a day when it's like -2 degrees and very cold.
Lots of frost on lots of cars.
But hopefully our Fyreslayer friends will help us warm up a bit.
Or they'll die very quickly.
That is also very likely.
Although the Fyreslayers are doing very well in the main game at the minute.
Robin, Magmadroths are doing very well in the main game.
Sorry, what army are Magmadroths in?
Yeah, but unfortunately it is like, oh, look at these, and then every list you look at is like,
6 Magmadroths.
4 to 6 Magmadroths, and you go, okay.
And I fit a squad of infantry because that's just how many points I have left. Yeah. Maybe that priest. Well, it's the era of the monster mash.
Oh, there you go then.
Because it's flesh eaters. There's a lot of lists now that are copying what I did. It's just like 7 Terrorgeists.
You saw it coming, didn't quite get them in time.
And
that soon will be nerfed and they'll be useless.
Yeah, pretty much.
But before we do get onto those Fyreslayers, how is your Age of Sigmaring going?
Yeah, other than just a bit of practice for Quest, I've not really done a massive amount, unfortunately.
Yeah, we did do a game where you practiced for Quest and for the tournament that we've got, the ongoing league one that we've got, and you absolutely smashed me again.
It's not a bad army for just smashing. Super mobile.
Crazy move. I mean, I think we measured it, didn't we? And it was like they moved 14. They could get, from being set up 6 at the start, they could get the 3 inches from the back.
If you set up a squad of eels pretty much in the centre at the 6-inch mark, they can pretty much get anywhere with a very small charge. I think they've got the best mobility in the game.
A couple of Zinch ones move 14, but I think there's not many that are that mobile. Yeah. Let us know if anything moves 15, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And the flying. So it's not just that, it's them moving over things as well.
Yep.
And moving over combat ranges and things. So I'm not enjoying the idea of having to fight you twice in our league.
They're a little swingy.
Yeah, but if they swing.
The amount of times that I've had a full squad and they've done like 2 damage. Don't have a lot of other stuff. That's the thing. If I just have a bad round.
I have had a league game since our last podcast. Last time I drew on a really kind of low-scoring, tough one, where I kind of felt like I did everything I needed to by locking up the Skaven cannon, but just couldn't control the objectives. And I just had the reverse this time, where I didn't lock up the cannon as well, but luckily he didn't roll great with it, and I just kept on holding the objective.
So what you're saying is my advice for beating them is completely bad and not to follow it?
No, because I did lock up the cannon. But he went first, so literally there's nothing I could do first turn. I hid behind a wall, but he could get past it. And then I locked it up, and then he used the card to teleport it out. So otherwise he'd have only got 1 round to shoot him. But I just got lucky that I think on the 2d6, he rolled a 3 and a 1. And then he maybe only did 2 damage. And then the second time, I think he shot, he only did maybe 4. So I think I just looked out rather than...
Yeah, I say it is a bit of a swingy model. Probably the swingiest thing in Spearhead.
And then by the end of the game, all he had was the cannon left on like 2 health and his Greyseer left on 1 health. I've played 4 and I've won 2 and I've drawn 2.
I've not played any yet.
No, but you have got one upcoming.
I've got one upcoming.
Yeah, so we'll see how you do against the ogres that I have fought. I feel like because of your mobility and your fast start, you'll probably do well at them, but I do wonder what will happen when they come down. Fyreslayers. This was actually my 2nd ever army. We went halves on the Fury of the Deep Box, and I think you actually gave me the decision of which army I wanted.
You picked the Slow Dwarfs or something.
And I picked the Slow Dwarfs after you choosing me the Slow Nurgle. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just remember seeing the Dwarfs ages ago when I first got into Warhammer, and it must have been Warhammer Fantasy. And the Dwarfs, they obviously weren't Fyreslayers, but them being on the board and looking really cool. And being like, yeah, one day I want to do a dwarf army. I even got some of the dwarfs from the Lord of the Rings and kind of made an army of those when they brought out quite a few. So I was like, oh, I want to do them. They're really good. And I think our first few games, you just blitz me.
Yeah, I think Games Workshop have this horrible tradition of making joint boxes, and just one of the armies being well stronger than the other one. It feels.
We definitely had that when we had our High Elves and Skaven in Warhammer Fantasy.
I don't think I ever beat that. We played it. Must have played it like 20 times. I don't think I've never won once.
And then I think we did the same when Age of Sigmar first started, and you got. So technically,
Stormcast.
maybe they're my third ones because Blades of Khorne was my first one, and I don't think I won any of those games.
Yeah, because the hammer guys were like crazy good.
And they would 2-up save, and they did load of damage.
Yeah, they did mortal damage. I think they were like on 6s. They just did like 3 mortals, which at the time was like I know a lot of units have that, but at the time that was like bonkers good.
So we got that box, didn't do very well with it, and then tried them again, and I do really enjoy playing them. I just feel in the full game, you just have really good games or really bad games and nothing in the middle. I have done a tournament with them and did well, and it was a quest one, so obviously that is a little bit different, but I won a game and lost a game, and exactly like I said there, I won quite well and I lost very badly. So I do generally think they are just a swingy army, but for that army, you get your general, which is your battlesmith, 5 lots of units with 5 models in it. One of those units are your Hearthguard Berserkers, and all the rest are Volkite Berserkers. Which I suppose, if you're thinking about it, makes your stats pretty easy to remember because you've only really got 3 units of stats to remember there. And they all move the same.
And as we've learned, you've got a lot of stuff. And it's probably a lot of it's going to be dead. So if you can swing it to get that card, that twist near the end, that's 5 points you'll be scoring.
It's a good point, actually. Maybe next time I play, I want to play on that side of the board and die and win. And just look out by getting it late on, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the worst variation boxes in all of Spearhead.
Yeah, because you've got a small hero that's a fairly standard small hero. And then 4 of one unit and 1 of another.
Yeah, and they're all infantry.
Yep.
So if you just play against an army that loves infantry with models with 2 health, pretty much gonna have a bad game.
You've got basically no range.
No, you talk about the ability, but yeah, basically nothing shoots.
It's a really slow army.
It's a really slow army. You do have they have obviously addressed all of those things with things you can give your army, but I don't know. I do look at it and go, I can't wait for the next one where hopefully they have got a magma draft, or at least they do an update and they give them some cavalry and you have them in it. Because if they just do another box of just
5 guys, 5 guys, 5 guys, and 5 guys, yeah. Even if they replaced like one of your combat guys with a shooting guy, that probably would have helped with some stuff.
Yeah, maybe just having 10 of your core ones, and then you have a unit of shooting, a unit of really good combat ones.
Yeah.
So I'd even take losing 5 models for that variation. And make the little ones reinforced?
Yeah, because also nothing in the army's reinforced.
No.
And considering everything saves on a 6.
Apart from your general, yeah.
You have got a ward. Everything's got a ward.
And everything's
which is nice.
And everything's got 2 health. So they are having to chomp through 10 health. But 10 health is a 6-up save.
Oh, so you mean like my clan rats that have got a 5-up save and 10 health?
And come back. But they do try and help you with your battle trait. So your battle trait, if you have used Fyreslayers at all, you have your runes.
Yep.
And in the full game, you choose it on battle round. In this, you choose it at the start of your turn, which is such a big downgrade because if you go second, you're not getting the benefit of a single one. And if you're second by the end of the game, you're getting the benefit of one for your turn, and that is it. So you could literally spend equivalent of 1 whole battle round without anything buffed, which I think is, I don't understand why you just wouldn't make it battle round.
Yeah, I don't think it makes it overly broken or anything. Considering some of them don't even benefit you in the enemy's turn anyway. Only like 1 or 2.
Yeah, like the added movement doesn't at all.
Yeah.
But obviously just being able to start off with a 5-up ward when they're running, if you're playing Deepkin and they're charging into you.
That's the perfect one. You want to just be like, cool, everything's got a 5-up ward.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they couldn't, but for whatever reason, that is the way. So your 4 runes that you use, you can only use 1 of them each at the start of your turn, and you can't use them again. All of these have got advanced abilities, but I'll go through the standard ones first. So you've got Rune of Fury, add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly units. Good.
Army-wide, don't have to do anything for it.
And most of it hits on 4s, so making it 3s and 3s. And then your really tasty fighter unit hits on 2s.
Yeah.
Really good. Rune of Searing Heat, add 1 to the rend characteristic of melee weapons. Again, everything's got a 1
all
rend.
army-wide, all really good.
So with Khorne, you need to build up 3 points to get that. 3 things need to die. This, you could just have it basically from the start. 2 rend on all your attacks. Brilliant. Rune of Fiery Determination, giving your whole army a 5-up ward. It always has a 6-up, as Robin said before, but having it as a 5-up now, really good. Helps take off a lot of the damage that they're doing to you. And Rune of Relentless Zeal, adding 2 to the movement characteristic.
Which, for a very slow army, is very good.
Making everything move 6. Good.
Yeah.
And that tends to be the one that I would do either first turn.
If you're going first.
So they're charged, so you're going
something
up to the centre of the board, and hopefully you got a 6-inch charge instead of an 8 if you're just doing your normal move. Or at the end where you just need to maybe be places, and you need that extra couple of inches to do it. Giving that 5-up ward helps shrug off a lot of damage. So if you know that they're going to hit you early, maybe trying to get that on. And then the other ones with the rend and the added 1 to hits, just really good when you're in the middle of that combat.
Yeah, they're solid ones to use like battle round 2 and 3.
Yeah. However, they do have, if you roll a 6, added benefits. So on the enhancements for each of them, you can add 1 to the attack characteristic of units' melee weapons. Brilliant. Add 1 to the damage characteristic of melee weapons. Again, incredible. One of your units can be 3 damage. And your general can be 3 damage as well. Yeah. Adding 1 to save rolls for friendly units. I think that's probably the weakest one, but it still might shrug off a bit more damage.
It makes them 5-up save, 5-up ward. That's not bad.
And your general a 4-up save, so
not bad.
A bit helping. And then adding 2 to charge rolls. Not many things in the game adds 2 to charge rolls. No. So just guaranteeing a few charges is brilliant. I have probably played this army 5 or 6 times. I have rolled a 6 twice.
Well, like we've said, if you go on the law of averages, technically there's nothing to say that you should get 1. Because you've got a 1 out of 6 chance every time, but you're going to do it 4 times.
You probably shouldn't think, by logic, you should get 1 every game and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm probably I'm a bit below average there, but unfortunately...
But like you say, even then it's like, well, my army's been wiped. Oh, I've got +2 to charge with my 1 squad that's left.
And it's in combat already.
So, it's... Well, I think we talked about in a previous podcast.
That was the last podcast.
That was the last podcast where we will maybe talked about ways of improving it. One of the things we said is maybe if you fail it or you add the battle round number. I think adding the battle round number is quite good because then it makes... There's like a strategy to kind of deciding what you want to do, what you want to hold off for almost the guaranteed buff. It's a nice thing to kind of go for.
And it's not too broken that you're getting it from the start, maybe, and maybe that makes the army too good and they charge in and they have +1 to rend, +1 to damage, and they do too much damage consistently.
The army would be a little bit broken if you rolled 4 6s for that. You know, the odds of that happening is like...
That's just your day. When that happens, that's just your day. Yeah. Unless you're going to beat anyone, like any army, if you just roll 4 6s every time you have an important thing, you're probably winning anyway. When you read it, I think, wow, those are really good abilities. And the fact you get to choose them, they're not like some armies, like Deepkin, where there's a pattern and that's that. Or
Daughters of... even get the pattern anymore.
Daughters of Cain, they have just a strict battle round 1, this is your buff, battle round 2. This is can pick and choose when it best suits me. But I do just wish that there was a bit more reliability on getting the boosted one. Your regiment abilities, you have 2, like all of them. So you've got your magmic tunnels. Once per battle, start of the first battle round. So you get to pick up to 2 friendly units, remove them from the battlefield, set them up again anywhere on the battlefield, 6 inches from all enemy units.
It's not bad.
If you go in second, I don't understand why you'd pick it, because you're just kind of putting yourself up to die. Unless you've set up a certain way, made them think where you're going to be.
Yeah,
and then
you could castle up in one corner, I suppose. Or if your opponent's set up really bad with the terrain, you could put a unit, like if they've set the wall up and they've set the small one up and they've kind of only left a small gap, you could maybe just sacrifice a unit, stick it there. Yeah, they're going to charge and probably smash that one unit, but That's what they did in their turn. That's not a great turn.
Or I could think maybe, but then they know you've chosen it, but maybe you set up really far back, expecting them to take the first turn, and they look at you and go, oh, he's really far back. He only moves 4. I can give him the turn. He's not going to get anywhere. And then you go, okay. And then these 2 units are now up here and they're going to do something. So I don't think it's bad, but I do think you'd have to really plan out what you're going to do without it being a waste of an ability.
Yes.
Whereas the one that I tend to go for, the once per turn, your shooting phase, fire, steel, throwing axes, pick any number of friendly units that are not in combat and within 10 inches of any enemy units. For each of those units, pick a visible enemy unit within 10 inches of it, roll a dice, on a 4-up, inflict D3 mortal damage onto the enemy unit. That can be very destructive. Because you do have 6 units, and if first turn you move them up and then each of them are within 10 of something, you could just do...
Which is very doable.
Yeah. So, Robin maths, you could do 18 mortal damage.
Yeah.
You could also do none. That is the one that I tend to choose, just because, like Robin said, nothing shoots, so it gives them something in the shooting phase, and mortal damage.
Yeah, mortal damage is always good. Your army struggles against a high save army.
Bypassing the saves. It is one you have to really think about a bit and plan where you're going to be. Because 10 inches is not bad, but you're only moving 4, maybe 6. You do need to kind of really... And I mean, the good thing about it is you can run and do it.
Yeah.
It's in the shooting phase, but it's not a shooting attack. It's not a core ability. So you can just run around. You can retreat and still do it.
Yeah.
It is very good and can do a lot of damage, as long as you're good at rolling 4-ups.
So what you're saying is you need to be a destruction player.
Moving on to your enhancements. Your 4 choices are... Too stubborn to die, so you can heal your general at the start of any turn, D3.
Pretty good.
Really good when you say it, thinking, whoa, any turn, because a lot of healing is normally just your hero phase.
Yeah.
Whereas that is just start of any turn. My issue with it is your general's only got 5 health with a 5-up save. If they want him dead, he's probably dead.
Yeah.
Healing that bit won't keep him alive much longer. If you had a Magmadroth and had that ability, it'd be incredibly good.
Most killy things in a spearhead can do 5 easily.
It could get swollen by the Carnosaur without any attacks being done to it.
Yeah.
And that ability is pointless.
I suppose it's nice that it's before the hero phase, so if he is on 1 and someone's got an ability that's just like you're playing Skaven and they've got the Wither ability, I mean, you could do it, roll a 1, and then they could do 2 mortals and still kill you anyway, but...
You could keep your life
the fact we're saying the fact it's start, it means that you can potentially get around some shenanigans.
You have the ability of Spirit of Grimnir. You can reroll activation rolls you make for the Urgol rune ability. So that was your rune ability where you needed a 6. I have chosen that one a few times and never once got the 6, which puts me off it. But again, anything that's doubling your ability to get a 6.
Yeah, but it still only technically means you should get it once a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it more reliable.
No, it's not a +1 to your rolls for your Urgol ability.
Yeah.
And obviously your general's got to be alive. If he's dead, he's not doing that. You've got your Horn of Grimnir, your hero phase. Pick your general to use this ability if they are not in combat. Roll a dice for each friendly unit on the battlefield that has any slain models. On a 3-up, you can return 1 slain model to that unit.
That's pretty good.
That is a very good one that I tend to choose. I have accidentally cheated a few times where I didn't read the bit about him not being in combat and just been like, oh, I'm going to be bringing models back now. So do just be careful, because this does mean you need to keep him out of combat.
Yeah.
And it's hero phase. It's not like you can retreat him out of combat and do it.
It's a good ability that's kind of marred a little bit by the fact that it's just a little awkward.
Yeah, and on a 3-up, you got to get it 2/3, but it is 2/3. But it's board wide. It's not a...
You're not going to be wholly within.
Nothing wholly within, which I think that's what makes it good. I think if it was a wholly within, it would be worse. Because of that, it is the one that I tend to choose.
Yeah.
And your final one, Powerful Persistence, add 3 to your general's control score. He's already got 5, making him an 8 control score on an army that
doesn't really have any way to buff it.
No other way to buff it. Makes that one a good one. Again, I just look at it and go, they just kill your general then, and you have 0 control score. And 5's normally good enough to beat most things.
Yeah, because like you say, your general's not running around on his own. So he's got 5 plus a unit with 5 control score.
In general, I think that they are fine abilities. The heal one I don't rate just because of his model.
Good for like negating chip damage.
But if they really want him dead, he's
Yeah.
probably dying. The activation roll again could be game changing, but also could be nothing. Control score 1 is really good as long as he's alive, and then bringing him back. I mean, bringing in theory Robin logic again. 5 models back with 2 health. That's 10 health coming back on the board. Each of those units have had to have a dead model in the first bit and still be alive.
It's alright, on Fyreslayers, they'll definitely have some dead models. Is it past the hero phase of Battle Round 1? I've probably got some models dead.
So it is one where you kind of, to get the maximum outcome, you need to be a bit dead, but equally dead, which doesn't always happen. People normally zone down on a
you
unit,
focus
kill
one
it,
down.
and that's because they know they're not coming back, they're not reinforced. You know, that ability could not do a lot. So I think none of them are a standout, but that is the one
That's probably the best one.
pick.
If we were to rank them?
That will be at the top.
Yeah. Probably the control score
Probably
after
the control score second. The Spirit of Grimnir for the activation roll, because you might just get it, and it might really help. And then I'd put the heal last.
I'd swap them round. If it was like hero phase, then maybe not. But the fact it's start, make me put it second to last.
Moving on to the army. So we have your general, the battlesmith. 4-inch move. Get used to me saying that a lot. 5 health, 5 up save, 5 control score. So he's not tanky, but his control score is kind of the standout there.
He's got the standard combat profile, which is a little... You think with him being a little less tanky, he'd be a bit more hard-hitting.
Yeah, I mean, in the full game, he is just there for his control score. He hits fine, but he's not the fightiest general. So like Robin says, he's pretty standard with his Ancestral Battle Axe. 5 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 1 rend, 2 damage. Again, with buffs. You could be making that hitting on 2s. You could make that 2 rend, 3 damage. You know, it could look very good.
Yeah.
If things come up. He does have 2 abilities, which is quite nice. He's got his passive Icon of Grimnir. I'd want to save rolls for friendly units while they are wholly within 12 of this unit. So making everything saving on a 5 is not great, but it's better than the 6. And his once per battle, any hero phase, plant the icon. For the rest of the turn, friendly units have a 5-up ward while they are wholly within 12 of this unit. That is one of your runes, but then he can also just give it, but it is only for the turn that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what you're having to do first turn when they charge everything in and you've not done your rune yet.
Yeah.
And you're giving your whole army that 5-up ward.
But as we said earlier, 2 very good abilities. Don't get me wrong, they're very nice. Adding 1 to save again in quite a big bubble and a 5-up ward. So you've got to have him close.
Yep. So
if your dwarfs charge in, they're not wholly within 12.
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of charge him in as well.
And then he's not, even if he's living, he's not then out of combat to give his ability to bring units back. It's a really tricky one.
It's a really weird army where it seems like it's got so much stuff going for it. And then you go, yeah, but actually managing to pull all this stuff off seems very hard. And as we've said, consistency is what makes an army good.
I don't think I would ever go in with this army in a competition of a few games where it's a knockout if you lose, or because I'll probably win a few, but I'll definitely lose a few.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do about that, unfortunately. So I'd definitely go in this as a fun one-day thing, as a fun game, but I don't think I'd do it in any kind of competitive play. Moving on to your Hearthguard Berserkers. Unit that is just the 5, so you only get 5 of these. They move 4, 2 health, 1 control score, and a 6-up save. They do get the buff of their passive, which is duty unto death. So while your general is wholly within this unit's combat range, both the units have a 5-up ward. So you are sticking these in with your general as much as possible. And they are really your hard hitters, because with their Flame Strike poleaxes, you get 2 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to rune, 1 rend, 2 damage, and they do have crit mortals. I have found that this is your make and break unit.
Yeah.
If the other person gets into these and kill these, probably having a rough game. If these can get into a good combat and get an attack before any of them died, they can do a lot of damage. So that's the standard stats. Again, you could make that 2 rend, you can make that 3 damage, you could make them hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
When they're buffed, they are a really good unit. However, they've only got 2 health and a 6-up save.
Yeah.
And just a few of them down, and they will not do a lot back. So I really find that you need to hope your opponent's not played them first, and they just all look like 26 ginger dudes on the table.
Which, to be fair, they kind of do.
They do, and so you can kind of hide them somewhere and be like, haha, now they're here. Because if they know about them, they'll target them. And if they kill a few, they won't do anything. And you just got to hope that happens. So I do think really plan what you do with that unit. Hide him at the back, and keep him with your general, so at least they're all 5 at warding each other.
Probably a good bodyguard unit for your general. Might dissuade some of your weaker combat stuff going into just the general.
Whereas the rest of your army, the 20 dwarfs you have of these, of your Volkite Berserkers. So you get 4 lots of 5. So at least they are, around the board. They can be. It's not like 2 blocks of 10. 2 blocks of 10, I suppose, would have been nice for just a chunky bit of health on an objective and control score. But I feel like because there's so many of them, you could still put them in one big group. And you hope they overkill one and waste damage on not going for the other. But they move 4. 2 health, 6 up save, 1 control score. So exactly the same stats as the Hearthguard Berserkers. But they are a really weird one, where they get a buff from charging, and they also get a buff from being charged.
Yeah.
They're File Steel hand axes, 2 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage. But it's anti-charge plus 1 rend.
It's a nice ability.
And they're passive. Add 1 to attack characteristic of this unit's weapons if it charged in the same turn. So the crazy thing you can do with that is, if they charge another unit, you counter-charge with this unit, they are +1 to attacks and anti-charge +1 rend.
Yeah.
So there'd be 3 attacks each with 2 rend.
I mean, very hard to pull off, but it's
It's happened.
Or you could charge and then have it kind of dissuades the counter-charge on you.
Yeah, because if they do counter-charge, I attack that unit, I'll get the +1 to rend. Yeah. From a full unit of 5 on the charge, you're getting a fair 15 dice. 4s and 3s, you can do a bit, but don't rely on them doing a lot if you've only got a unit 5.
Yeah.
If you've got 2 lots of 5 together, 30 dice, as long as none have died, you're going to be doing all right. But I do think that they are more there to try and score you the cards.
Yeah, they're unfortunately your run-around unit. It's just a shame they're only moving 4.
Yeah. And don't come back.
They could just let you bring 2 back.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of how to make it not too complicated.
Or just reinforce your better combat unit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely be happy for that. But I understand when they haven't done that.
I don't think it'd make a huge deal of difference.
So I'm trying not to be too grumpy whilst going through all of these, but I just think these could be so good.
Yeah, the problem is they're just one note. They're just so much one kind of thing where a lot of spearheads just kind of hard counter them. And that's the problem.
Anything with a decent save, anything with good rend.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't even need good rend.
Anything with 1 rend.
So most spearheads.
Anything that's just mobile enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hate to have a game with these against the Gloomspite Gits ones with the chariots, because I was just thinking of chariots. I'm even thinking of like ones I consider a lower end spearhead.
Yeah.
I just think the chariots would just smash into you, run away from you.
I think they really probably could have done with strike first if you're charged room that they get in the main game.
Like they do in the main game.
Would that even work? Because you go, great, they've given me the first turn. That'd be when you'd probably want to use it to avoid that, and you can't.
You can't? Yeah.
I think if you're like a brilliant mastermind strategist who rolls at least averagely, might be the army for you. But if you don't want to have to think about the next 10 steps every time you do anything, probably not the army for you, unfortunately.
The best game I've had with them was against Slaves to Darkness. And I just had a turn where that shooting round, I did so much mortal damage. And then I had one good combat round that I did a lot of mortal damage with the Hearthguard Berserkers. And it doesn't matter about the saves, I've just bypassed it. None of them had a ward. So I did enough damage, and then the rest of the game I was then ahead because they just didn't have the output to strike back at me.
Yeah.
Other than that, all the games I've had have been very ropey for me.
Not many come to mind. There probably is a few spearheads that it performs well against. I was going to say maybe Nighthaunt, but then Nighthaunt will just run circles around them.
Circles around it, and they're ignoring any rend bonuses as well, so you've still got to get past their saves.
Maybe Cruel Boys, because Cruel Boys aren't doing a lot to you. The mortals are the only thing they're doing to you, and you got a potentially a 5-up ward for a lot of the game.
Again, I just think it
But
just
then the
depends how well they
bow,
shoot.
yeah.
If they just shot well, you'd be in trouble. If they don't
Because
shoot
again,
well,
the cruel boys kind of have something to cover that. Like I think most good spearheads kind of have one really good thing they do. They kind of focus in and do something really good, and then they've kind of got something to mitigate their weaknesses. Whereas the Fyreslayers, their runes are the only things they've got to cover their weakness, so they only get it for one turn.
so they get it for a whole turn, your turn, my turn.
Yeah.
And in theory, if I got doubled, I would have the same effect for 3 turns. So I'd have it for my turn, your turn, and then the turn you doubled me. But then if on my turn I go, right, I want the movement one,
Yeah.
and then on your turn, obviously it's not benefiting me, and then you double me, that's another turn that I've not got a chance to change it up.
Yeah. So,
painting, aesthetics, kind of building. They are really easy to build. They're kind of just bodies and arms and heads.
Probably don't need a lot of paints.
I quite enjoy painting them. I mean, it is 26 models that are basically the same. So if you're the one who sort of is like a batch painter, you'll really enjoy them. If you're the one that's like, oh, I've just painted the same model 20 times, I'm a bit bored, probably not for you. But probably one of the quickest ones because they are literally hair and skin and a tiny bit of armor.
They feel like the criteria of 2, where if you're like me and they just want stuff painted so they're on the board as quick as possible, you can do that, and it doesn't look too bad.
I think a block of orange hair look really cool when they're on, especially big game, when they're on the board and you got loads of them.
But then if you really want to go into it and you really want to paint them nicely, they have got enough like finer details on them that you can. I think they've got that nice balance.
Are we saying like a 4 maybe?
I mean, I didn't make and paint them, so I'll give them.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, the making them is very easy.
Yeah.
And I enjoy painting them, but I could see some people not. Maybe a 3.5 because they just lack that.
Centerpiece.
If they had a Magma Droth, I'd be like pushing for a really high one. If you just look at them on the board, they are just the same model 26 times.
There's not a lot of variety.
No, so maybe 3.5. So in terms of competitive fun, I don't think you can put them too low because they are fun. And when they have that good turn, they have that good turn. And I do know someone who's done really well in a tournament with them.
I do think there's the potential, but I just think you've got to get your 6s when you need your 6s. And can you guarantee that? I know what I'd give them. I don't know if you'd agree with me.
I would say 2.
I was going to say 1.5.
Ooh. For me, it's if you get that good shooting rounds and do the mortals there, and you charge the right things in.
But on the flip side, as you're learning, what if I just charge everything to 1? And you haven't got any buffs, and I kill your general? I'm looking at it from if I know about the Fyreslayers, I know just if I kill that general.
And I would say maybe you are right because there are enough other armies that are just a hard counter.
Yeah.
That even if I have the best game I can, I probably could still lose, and they just have to have an average game and probably still win.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I'll give you 1.5.
I know, but that's our lowest ranking so far.
Will anything ever get it? Something's got to get a 1.
Something's got to get a 1.
That's all right. I'll give my flesh eaters a 1.
You probably will as well. I'm going to push for them to get higher.
You're just going to 1. The only things they can beat are the dwarfs.
No, you can beat others.
There's a few things.
Yeah.
So we're going for 1.5 then.
Go for 1.5.
There's just so much that's got to go right for them. There's very little room for error.
Yeah.
And like you say, you can do everything right. So just say, for instance, you want to be in combat, you want to charge all your stuff in, you give them the movement rune, you even get the 6, you move up to the line, you're still a 6 charge. It's not great.
No. And you need to get them in to get that charge. If you
you need to get 5 units of 6 charges.
I just feel in general Spearhead favours ones that can spread out a bit. Aren't they just going to go out and die? Or if they are, they're going to die and come back, and it doesn't matter.
I think it'd be a whole different score. I'd probably give them like 3 or something if you had some reinforcement.
So, collect Fyreslayers, everyone. They're a great Spearhead. They will be when the second one comes out and it's just 2 Magma Droths.
Well, I mean, that would be a fun one.
That would be crazy fun.
It's always nice just to have a big, nice, smashing monster.
I mean, I'd just settle for a Magma Droth. Even if it's a Magma Droth, a unit of 10 and a hero, I'd settle for that.
It's a little disappointing that their starter collecting box was a Magma Droth.
A Magma Droth, a unit of 10, and a little hero. I'd have loved that box. You doing the outro then, Robin?
Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to Warhammer we go.
With some
Dodgy.
axes and no armour.
Yeah.
Some bad saves.